G'day, this is Captainoob, and I went just exploring in Fallout 76, and I found a stick. But this stick was a stick like no other. I'm sure it may have leaves and grass and crap all over it, but apparently underneath there's some sort of rifle. So that's pretty cool, and it takes 50 caliber bullets, so it must be a really big beast of a weapon. Or is it? This is a Bloodied sniper rifle, would be called a hunting rifle at a reflex sight, with bullets exploding for area damage, so a BE hunting rifle. Normally I'd, chuck out the B25, but now that we can't push our damage with multipliers to an obscene amount anymore, I don't think the B25 will, with the tuned receiver making its rate of fire the fastest it could possibly be, would do us much good, so we'll just go maximum damage per shot in the form of the sniper rifle with the exploding bullets. Got a 50 receiver on this, like I said before, true barrel and stock for hipfire accuracy purposes. Got a perforating magazine to maximize our armor penetration per shot, giving us slightly better damage overall. Medium scope for scoping in. I don't think that's too much of a thing that you really need to worry about most of the time, because at close range we've got the hipfire accuracy to be good in close quarters, but over range when we're using this thing, scoping in will give us a good option. So a medium scope allows us to be very effective, at least with the barrel and stock setup, at close and medium ranges to long ranges. So that's nice. Suppressor there to keep me nice and hidden. Got 113 damage on this. Let's push this up with all of these additive, not multipliers, additives there. We'll just go with that. That's Commander. No, that's a no-no. Don't put that perk on. And we'll chuck on the Rifleman perks. There they are. Yes, and then it's Explodey Bloody gun, so Demo Expert goes on, and we're going to be chucking on Bloody Mess to get this damage a little bit further, and the server hasn't crashed on me. Good, and now we're doing 164, but we can push that further, you just wait. Well, I just turned the camera off, and now we're doing 194, and I haven't lost a bit of health at all. What is going on? Okay, so now we're playing as a very angry bush Wookiee, and we've got 333 damage out of this. Keep in mind that the QE Harpoon had 420 damage rolls completely unspec, so oof. Okay, welcome to the Subaru Owners Club. I'm about to show them how much my SS could chop them all by shooting them with a video game weapon, and they're just gonna have to take my word for it. There's what we look like. We're all matching except for the Winter's pasty fingers, which stick out like dog ears. You need some gloves, some actual gloves with proper fingers on them. Anyways, so taking a look at my armor, because I want to show this off. It's all good unyielding stuff with AP refresh. Very, very nice. Thank you, Arch Enemy, for providing me with this. Also, Arch Enemy's a car guy as well. He's like a mechanic IRL, so that means he's even cooler than I thought he was. Wait, we've already seen the build. This is what I'm doing with my legendary perks. So we've got that. That's kind of helpful, but mainly follow through. If we don't get the first shot, our second shot will definitely do the job. Now, a dude by the name of Oxy go in and said the hunting rifle is overpowered. And, well, what could he possibly mean by that? Could he mean that since he's one-shotting everything, that it might be overpowered? I could see that being something that'd be desirable in a weapon that fires this slow. But the problem is with a weapon like this is that, I mean, look at the fire rate on this. Sure, it can kill these enemies very quickly, or instantly, I suppose, but you're limited by the rate of fire and rechambering this, so calling it overpowered, I think it's a little bit over the top. But to each their own opinions. At least Oxy wasn't using the stupid food build perk to get this thing going. But anyways, so here's the thing. If I could stop missing the super mutant and actually form a sentence. Also, actually, no, I need to address something else. So, if Bethesda sees this video, they'll try to get some more damage nerfs happening. So what I need everyone to do before the Bethesda Fun Police arrives, I need everyone, and I mean everyone, to spam cop car and cop emojis in the comments. So that way, when the Bethesda Fun Police get here, they'll see all of the cops in the comments and they already think the situation is being dealt with. So unless you want another damage nerf, you better start spamming those emotes. Also, spam car emotes to feed my SS. Very, very important. It's a very high, rich diet of destroying Subies, and we need a lot of fuel and food to keep destroying them. Well, actually, not as much fuel as you don't think. I don't need to go over 2,000 revs to annihilate a Subaru. But, you really gotta give it to him. You gotta, you know, clean them by at least 50 car lengths, which is easy to do. I pulled up to one. One of them was driving beside me on the road today, going home from work, and, you know, he's a fucking P-plate. I probably thought his car was hot shit, but it's this little piece of shit red Subaru with scratches all over it. Bad idea. Bad look for you, mate. But he pulls up next to me and starts revving the thing as hard as possible, and it's got this big old fart pipe on the back of it. It sounds like absolute shit. And I was like, well, I'm not giving into this, except that I did. So, you know, next traffic lights, I waited for the car in front of me to, you know, get a little bit further ahead of me so I could just, you know, step on it a little bit harder. And then, big old rev from my V8, and he didn't make any attempts to go back on that. I think I put that Subi driver in his place. Ha! Let's move on. Japanese cars are boring, man. They've got none of the character that all of the Australian cars have. So, you'll see with the hip fire on this thing, it's actually pretty good. And we can only one-shot these guys if we hit him in the head. So, what I might do here is just utilize VATS a little bit, because if I do that, I'm going to be missing less shots. But still, the problem with the hunting rifle, like Subarus, is they're too goddamn slow. I could have cleared out these guys and then probably finished off the interior if I was using a fixer. Look, I have a very if you ain't first, you're last mentality in this game, and if a weapon doesn't perform as good as any, there's no real reason to use it other than perhaps style points. If you want to dress up like a Wookiee in this game and use a hunting rifle, sure, go ahead, but your performance is gonna suffer. I'm all about that performance. If a weapon can't solo a Scorched Beast, Queen, or Earl, into the script bin with it, you know? The only reason I carry so many weapons is because I run a show on YouTube where I utilize these weapons, and I can't get that guy in the head, annoyingly. This guy, however, gets the old face shot treatment. There we go. Managed to get him there with a little bit of a cheeky tenderizer and also follow through, which I guess is a nice little multiplier if you are taking on anything that you can't exactly one-shot. But again, it's just too slow. I think a Gauss rifle would be faster than this, with all the inherent problems of the Gauss rifle. Slightly more inconsistent than a hunting rifle, but I think it'll do the job slightly faster than this, because every bullet that I'm, you know, getting a 2-shot kill on, or every Subaru that I'm getting a 2-shot kill on, is taking up valuable seconds. I don't want my videos running for 20 minutes, because people don't want to see that. I run out of things to talk about, so I start talking about how much I love my car. I'm gonna do it again. Watch me. Hear it. 3-inch exhausts, right? Sounds pretty good. Everyone at work has a V6, so I'm a car snob. Or actually less than a V6. There's people out there, blokes out there with their little 2-liter cars. And sometimes I can't help but point and laugh at them, and that's bad behavior, but that's kind of how it is, you know? This dogger is really trying hard to avoid me. Alright, so I think I've missed the legendary here like 2-3 days in a row, so we'll go and see what he's got for us. Hang on. God damn it. Berserker's Bone Hammer. Great, I just ripped his bone off. He was packing something, that's for sure. I don't know how much pounds that weighed, but I don't want to know. So, this has been a pretty cruisy run so far. I've kind of had to slow my playstyle down to cater to what the hunting rifle can do with its speed, but that's just kind of how it works. And I almost got my ass handed to me there because the rechambering speed of this thing is so goddamn slow that he had enough time to almost shoot and kill me. So as soon as you're in danger with this thing, bad luck, pal, you're dead. Unless you've got some sort of defensive perks, like Serendipity, which saved my ass there. I think it's a must. I did swap that from 4-leaf Clover before I started recording too. So, overpowered, this weapon is not. That's your take-home message. Oxy, step aside. Let me do the weapon things. No, just kidding, mate. Oxy's he's a good egg. Anyways, oh, also check out his channel too. Probably don't know who I'm talking about, and you probably wouldn't know because why would you? But I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description to his channel because he is making Fallout 76 content that I think is worth taking a look at. Alrighty, so I think that as soon as I get detected with this lot in here, the show's kind of over because they'll jump on top of me and eat my ass until the head caves in, and you know, that's not good. So we got to play this like a proper bush Wookiee. Right now we're just pretending to be a pot plant. Bit of cosplay for you in your Fallout gameplay. And I think it's working so far. They are running towards me, probably because, you know, as ghouls, their interior decoration skills have been honed over the years whilst they've been sitting here doing nothing. Yet they still haven't bothered to clean up the place. You fire an explosive weapon in here, cutlery, crockery goes everywhere, and then you hit the oil for 14, but then it doesn't explode because, So, as long as I don't miss any unnecessary shots, or miss any shots, rather, this should be a fairly easy run, because I think a chest shot will do them in, which is nice, because these guys aren't, you know, they get on top of you pretty quickly, and if you're not careful, they will get you. Luckily for me, I've got a bunch of agility from my unyielding armor, which is allowing me to cheese this with sneak pretty easily. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the explosive damage to kill both of them at the same time. I think I hit them with the explosive damage from that first shot, but the bonus from follow through wasn't quite enough to get that going. I think I've already... No. Okay, now he's dead. And now we're ready to move this downstairs, because we've got to be slow and methodical about this, because we can only go as fast as this thing wants us to go, as fast as it's going to reload, which is the big problem with this thing. If I had a lever gun, probably would have been done by now, perhaps. Also, with a weapon with a slow rate of fire like this, it is going to punish you hard for missing. So if you've ever got the chance, just use VATS. And if you've got a build like me where you can literally pull a crit out of your ass every second shot, do that. Because damage is good, as, you know, as much as Reddit would like you to think not of that. Is it glowing Wendigo in there? Ah, it's a real bookworm Wendigo. He definitely loves his book. He's taken that a little bit too seriously. Go for a critical there, and then follow it up there. There we go. Yes, I guess that's social commentary about how if you read too many books, you die by the book. Yes. Contrary to what that guy would like you to believe, knowledge isn't everything, and shit, that's an old meme. Let's get down to weapon philosophy, because I've been thinking about this in the time where a little bit of downtime during work, because, you know, back in the swing of Fallout 76, you gotta get your head in the game before you hit the record button. But in a weapon, I look for a few different things. One of them is sustained DPS. If it's got good sustained DPS, that's good. Another thing that applies to Fallout 76 weapons is durability. It needs good durability. That's the second thing. And I suppose the last thing is handling, you could say. So if it's got good handling, if it's got good sustained DPS, and it's got, I guess damage number is good as well, but if its durability is high, then it would be a good weapon. The hunting rifle, let's take a look at it. It's got poor sustained DPS. The damage per shot is okay. It's pretty good. I would say that it is sufficient. If I can one-shot a Super Mutant Warlord, I'm happy with it. I guess a Super Mutant Demolisher, because Warlords aren't the big boys anymore. The handling of this thing, it's a sniper rifle, so recoil literally isn't a factor in how well it's going to perform. Oh, it's doing that thing again. Yes, okay. I know, let's just aim for the legs and artificially lower our damage so the bullets actually hit. Except it doesn't work. Fine, you're gonna play this like a Scorch Beast, are you, mate? We'll go for a torso shot next, see how that goes. That did better, but come on, Bethesda. How long's this game been out for? Can you fix it? Pretty please? Okay, I'm gonna hold on to the thought of the theory on what makes a Fallout 76 weapon good, because I think that could be a discussion video on its own. I hope no amphibians are listening to this video right now, because if you take this idea, I will be very unhappy. I'll just say that. Because, you know, history of doing that. Anyways, nevertheless, we're going to try to kill these guys without getting ourselves into too much trouble, and I'm glad to have killed that Mirelurk King before much trouble could have been had with it. And now I'm just kind of blazing it shots away at nothing, because... There we go. Cleans out. That's another critical. Really getting this build just pumped up at the moment. Pumping up the hunting rifle to be a lot more consistent than it should be in VATS. Because that was a coin flip chance, but since I had a critical ready to go. And whoops, that's a stim pack. Alright, let's go for the spouts here because I am over this nonsense. Okay, that's the wrong thing, but I will not say no to it. Cock. So now that a Mirelurk Queen is a threat, we can tell what weapons are good and bad for how much it goddamn struggles against it. Let's find those spouts again, girly. Got a critical for her. Almost. And no more hucking loogies for you, mate. Huh? What are you gonna do now? Stand there menacingly? Good plan. We'll go for your torso because we can't get the explosive damage properly. Probably not the best idea. Just go for the legs. Yes, there we go. Well, that took way too long if you ask me. If we had a handmade, like even with a semi-auto receiver, we would have killed it. We probably wouldn't have even died, to be honest, but oh well, what do you do? So another thought that's just occurred to me is that you might think I'm mad for testing this clearly super low level early game weapon at end game level and expecting it to be good. Let me just remind you that the 10mm pistol exists and it remains the best guerrilla and possibly gunslinger option there is in the game. I mean, I'd have a better idea of that if I had have used the Crusader pistol, but Bethesda locked that behind ridiculous RNG, so we'll come back to that. We'll put another asterisk on that, I suppose, but I don't expect the world out of those things, that's for sure. Because it's, well, let's look at the DLC weapons so far. I mean, the best one's probably been the Fixer when we got that Lying Low quest line. We'll go for the noggin shots again here. We appear to be getting that little bit of a number for the explosive damage. We've just copped the blight. It's not great. Ha 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 ha! Take that, stupid bat. Oh, and then he teleported on my camp. Okay. I guess he took that personally because he decided to grief my Fallout pay-to-win tent. Goddamn bats, man. They take it really seriously. Nice hip-fire accuracy. I did hear some gunfire up there, so I went to investigate. Didn't find much. And this thing's nearly buggered, actually. Wow, I didn't get it. Really? Ah, okay. So I think the problem here is that pre-patch, when we had multiplicative damage, I wouldn't have to worry about shooting things multiple times because I just one-shot everything. And if you aren't one-shotting everything, guess what's going to suffer? Your weapon's condition. So again, I might have to put another asterisk on whether this thing's got good condition and durability. Who's there? Come on, show up. Well, that one's dead, for sure. Let's just focus fire on the big bat. Luckily, I paid for everything. I paid for all of my the season thing, right? So I've got all of these basic repair kits to use, and I bought them all on one character. So whoops. But luckily for me, I get all of the things, and the reason I had 25,000 atoms is because I originally had the entire year of Fallout First subscription, but I never saw the atoms past the first month. It's supposed to give you $16.50 per month. But as soon as I resubscribed and bought a month of it, all of them came at once. So yeah, thanks Bethesda. Couldn't have given me those when I was actually still subscribed to you, could ya? And there goes another bat shot straight out of the air. And that might just be about it for the BE hunting rifle. It's not a terrible weapon, but I think calling it overpowered is a little bit of an overstatement because sure, it can shoot and kill stuff in one shot, but the sustained DPS is nothing. It's not viable to kill Earl or Scorch Beast Queen, so if you ain't first, you're last, and you know, which would be okay some of the time, but you've got a very interesting juxtaposition where the hunting rifle and the 10mm pistol, despite being early game weapons, seem to perform at much different levels. That's probably because there's much better options for a rifleman. We one bats run this thing. Also, don't ever shoot a Scorch Beast whilst they're going down their flight animation, so they don't take no damage. There we go. Not gonna say no to 1200 damage though, but I still don't rate the hunting rifle for reasons that I will not go over again because that'd be the 4th time, and you know, I sound like a broken record at this point. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've learned something new, be sure to post the cop emoji so the Bethesda fun police don't show up and nerf our damage even more. Don't worry, they're out there. They're watching. They're in the shadows, but that's okay. we can use our corrupt police force to keep our damage where it is, and car emojis to feed the SS2. Do it. Do it now. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm going to take a thumbnail, and then I'm going to turn a fan on, because it's like 40 degrees here, sitting in front of my furnace of a computer. At least the second fan that I've been running is actually working, so yay.